Okay, welcome back, ATU members. We're going to now look at one of the most important parts of this class and a part of the training that we do, and that is to look at the servicing model of unionism. And you're going to see the handout document lists the servicing model on one column and the organizing model in the other column, and I'm going to show you on the next slide what that is. But the problem is, for many years, people have looked at the union as if it's a cable TV provider. That is, they pay their dues and everything comes out with no effort. People who complain don't go to union meetings, they don't run for union office, they don't participate in union activities, their families are not involved. And for many decades, this has been a successful model. Really, since the end of the Second World War, unions in America have made this country great and have given a standard of living to us and to our parents that no one else in the world had. But what we have seen since the 1980s is a dramatic change. And we are now seeing huge unemployment. We are seeing our unions attacked by our individual employers, by our industry groups, and by the political leaders of this country. And so we have to change. And that means bringing our members, every one of them, into participation in the union. So here is the document that you're going to find, and you can print it out or you can read it here. But on the right is the servicing model. And the servicing model is reactive. That is, we don't do anything as a union until the company does something or the employer does something, and then we react to it. We're dependent on them. We wait for union officers to solve problems. That is, a member comes to a union officer or a steward and says, "Here, I want you to take care of this for me." That's not going to work. It's a total reliance on grievance and arbitration. That is, going through the steps of the procedure and eventually ending up in a very expensive and risky arbitration case. For contract negotiations, it says wait until your contract expires and then you can do something. It's a lot of reliance on our union staff, on so-called experts, and on lawyers. One of the things which is very important in the servicing model is that union information is considered privileged and it's kept secret to a small group. Nowhere do we see this more than in negotiations, where the company will often, or the employer will often ask for a blackout, and so our members don't know what's going on. They will often ask for a blackout on a grievance procedure, so people don't know where the grievances are and what happens. Our membership is passive. They won't show up to meetings. They're willing to just pay their dues and go home. They think the way to make the union stronger is to work hard for the company, and that's just not working any longer. Often we have a centralized union structure. Decisions are made kind of top down, and unions activity is basically isolated from other activity. And we're going to talk about the importance of your families, the communities, the riders in building leverage. So what you see on the right is the organizing model. It's totally different. It's proactive. It means looking for ways to take initiative. It's independent of management. It involves all the members in the decision. It creates a lot of activities in the workplace. Creates bargaining between contracts, it creates organizing around grievances, it creates social activities, it creates family activities, it creates client activities and participation, reaching out to riders. We're constantly negotiating for improvements. There's never a day where we don't think, how am I going to make this workplace better for me and my co-workers? It emphasizes developing the skill and abilities of all your members. And this is very important because not all of us have the ability or the willingness to go head-to-head with the boss as a steward. But every one of us is a great organizer because we've organized birthday parties, we've organized Little League teams, we've organized community events. And we need to put those skills to work to build the union, to bring in our families, to bring in the community, and to bring in our riders. We want to open communications channels. This course is probably the best example of that. We want active membership. We want you at the meetings. Yes, there'll be differences of opinion. And yes, these differences can sometimes be very heated, but it's very, very important. The country in the summer of 2016 is at a crisis. All you have to do is turn on TV and you can see it. So we have to get active. We're going to decentralize the union structure, and we're going to let the membership from the bottom up make decisions. And most importantly, we're going to regularly support other unions. A lot of unions need to buy a new dictionary with the term solidarity in it, because they don't think about solidarity until they have a problem. And then they're going around saying, who can help me? Who can help me? We need to be proactive about going out with other unions if they have a picket line, a strike, a benefit, of helping them out, because then they're going to come when we need help and stand with us. So get this document, print it out, and keep it, and share it with the coworkers in your workplace. This is an expression which you're going to hear me use all the time, Kaizen. And actually some students that I have now at the ATU don't call me Bill anymore, they call me Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese term from sophisticated manufacturing. In Japanese, it literally means taking something apart and putting it back together better. What it really means is change is good. It's constant change. We're never satisfied with what we have. We're always proactively looking to make ourselves and our ATU local better. So remember that term. And as I said, Plan A doesn't work. The alphabet has 25 more letters. So keep working on figuring out what the solution would be. We all know what the problem is. We need to figure the solution. And leadership, as I've often said, is overcoming obstacles and not making excuses. If you look at the chart document on union leadership, you'll see that as one of the most important areas. And again, this is a time in history where unions are challenged in the United States like never before. And if we don't respond to that challenge, we're in big trouble. All right, so part of the program for this course is there is a list of books that you can look at. You can also look at my web page where I taught a grievance class. There are hundreds of documents there, arbitration decisions, grievance steward update articles, discussions by other people about how to be a great union steward. And one of the things that I would ask you if you were here in person is, what was the last book you read or the last video you saw on improving your union skills? And often people have never done it. And so I'm going to tell you what's really important is that this course should just be the beginning. You should make a regular effort to look at new material. Look at how other unions are solving grievances. Look at how other ATU locals are solving grievances so that you can improve what you do. It's very, very important. So we're finally finishing up here with this lesson. We're going to look at some basic areas for how a steward operates within the organizing model of unionism. Are you proactive or reactive? Do you read a narrow reading of the union contract, or do you basically say that the union contract gives us the right to challenge any term and condition of employment in the workplace, or even away from the workplace if management tries to control what we do off the job? Are you afraid of management? Is your stewards system timid, reluctant to challenge management? Are you not willing to make the tough decisions, and do you not keep getting new information? If these are decisions that you have made in your local, you're taking this class because you want to change. And the material you have here is going to help you do that. So finally, here's something that you need to do. You need to just take notes from the union stewards that you have known. What were 3 good qualities? What impressed you about these stewards? Because these are things that you think you want to incorporate into your performance and behavior. What were 3 bad qualities? Because these are things that you want to learn from. Don't duplicate their mistakes. We want to see what makes stewards go, and part of it is from learning in our experience. And one of the things about this steward class or this grievance and arbitration class, every one of us has had an experience with a union steward. We've either been one or been represented by one. And when we saw that steward as the face of the union as a new hire, and it had a dramatic impact on us. And so we want to keep those positive qualities. We want to make sure that we don't duplicate the bad qualities. So this is the end of the first session. Now what I want you to do is go listen to a great song called Union Made. And it's on the YouTube, and every session we have, you're going to get a chance to listen to a great union song. So thank you, and we'll see you in session 2.